Straubing is an independent city in Lower Bavaria, southern Germany. It is seat of the district of Straubing-Bogen. Annually in August, the Gäubodenvolksfest, the second largest fair in Bavaria, is held. The city is located on the Danube, forming the center of the Gäuboden. History. The area of Straubing has been continuously settled since the Neolithic. The conquest by the Romans in 1614 BC had a dramatic impact on the whole region. Even today, many traces of the 400-year Roman occupation can be found. For example, the famous Romerschatz, which is shown in the Gäuboden Museum. Sorviadorum, as the Romans called it, was an important military support base. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Straubing became a center of settlement of the Bavaria, mostly around St. Peter's Church between Alpbach and Danube. According to the customs of the Bavaria, the settlement was named after the leader Straubinger, which later evolved into the name Straubing. 1218 A new part of the city was founded by Duke Ludwig I Wittelsbach of Bavaria. Straubing became the capital of the Duchy of Bavaria Straubing under Duke Wilhelm I when Bavaria was divided among the sons of Louis IV, Holy Roman Emperor, in 1349. In 1429 Straubing passed to Ernest, Duke of Bavaria Munich, who ordered the murder of Agnes Bernauer in Straubing. The grave of Agnes Bernauer cannot be found, but in the graveyard of St. Peter's Church is a chapel built by Duke Ernest. Nowadays, this new town is the center of Straubing with many shops, offices, restaurants and a pedestrian area. Most buildings still have medieval style. The nightlife of Straubing, with many pubs and discotheques, is concentrated in this area. The most important buildings are the beautiful Gothic cathedral-like Basilica of St. Jacob, the Romanesque St. Peter's Church, the Carmelite Monastery with its Baroque church and library, St. Vitus's, where you can find a life-size personification of state and church joined in holy matrimony. Between 1933 and 1945, most of the members of the then small Jewish community of Straubing were murdered or forced to emigrate. In 2006, Straubing had a lively Jewish community with around 950 members. During a rally in June 1940, when Straubing and Bogen held its Kriegskreistag, some 20,000 people gathered at the Großdeutschlandplatz. Among the speakers were Gauleiter Wachtiller and Gauamschleiter Urbisdobler. In July 1940, the Donau-Zeitung reported that the Straubing Kreisleiter Anton Putz had flown toward France and not returned. In 1944 and 1945, Straubing suffered from several American air raids. The local military hospital was destroyed to the extent of 80% with a loss of 45 patients. Straubing also has many industrial areas and a port at the river Danube with access to the Rhine-Main-Danube Canal, a connection from the North Sea to the Black Sea. It is the center of the Bavarian high-tech offensive in biotechnology. Main sites. As one of 5 ducal residences of medieval Bavaria, the old town of Straubing especially features many Gothic buildings: the Romanesque Church of St. Peter, the Gothic City Tower, the Gothic Town Hall, the medieval ducal castle the Herzogsschloss, the Gothic Basilica of St. Jacob, the Church of St. Vitus, home of the oldest still existing confraternity in Germany, the St. Salvator Confraternity, the Carmelite Monastery and Church of the Holy Spirit. The monks especially support Palestinian Christians. Church of St. Ursula by the ASAM Brothers, the Baroque Trinity Column at Theresienplatz, the Water Tower, Sossau Pilgrimage Church, Straubing Zoo, festivals and main cultural events. Straubinger Frühlingsfest, a spring festival. Gäubodenvolksfest and Ostbahnschau, museum containing Roman artifacts. Agnes Bernard Festspiele, a historical play to remind of the murdered Agnes Bernard. Straubing Zoo, a jazz festival, Jazz and Air Do Now, one of the greatest jazz festivals in Europe with special guests like Seal, Aretha Franklin or Moose-D. Burgerfest is held every 2 years in the historical center of Straubing. Historical residents: Agnes Bernard, Matthias Fleur, Joseph von Fraunhofer, Jacob Sandener, Emanuel Schikaneder, Ulrich Schmidl, Karl Spitzweg, sons and daughters of the town, Arthur Ackleitner, writers, Hans Adlock, member of the Reichstag, Joseph von Fraunhofer, optics and physicists, Christian Gerher, baritone, Rex Gildo, pop singer, Gerda Hasselfeldt, vice president of the Bundestag, former federal minister, Oliver Hine, football player, Gerald Huber, pianist, E.W.A. Clam, CDU politician, Margot Mahler, actress, Siegfried Mauser, pianist and musicologist, Thomas Nauge August, playwright of Reformation time, Emanuel Schikaneder, actor, director, theatre director and librettist of Magic, Ulrich Schmidl, patrician, mercenary, explorer, chronicler and counselor, Thomas Stelmach, director and Oscar winner, Marcus Weinziel, a former football player and current coach, sports, ice hockey, Straubing Tigers, Dell, American football, Straubing Spiders, founded in 1985. Harness racing, Trabrennbahn Straubing. Education: Straubing has 4 gymnasiums: Anton Bruckner Gymnasium, Gymnasium der Ursulinen, Johannes Thurmer Gymnasium, Ludwigsgymnasium. International relations: Straubing is twinned with Romans-sur-Isère, France, Tuam, Ireland, Wales, Austria,